Why didn't you block any kicks to
I don't know. They did a good job. Didn't
Do you know
have.
who Red Grange is?
Do I know who Red Grange is? I don't.
Just compared, your coach compared to Red Grange.
Riz did. Was that a compliment? I'm just playing.
You do have those stats all the time, though, and actually, Catherine just tweeted one from ESPN stats today that was like the first since Ed Podolak in 1971. What is the kind of the wildest name you've ever seen on one of those stats that you're the first since?
I don't know. I mean, that's one of those things. To be honest, I don't really pay a ton of attention to those things. But listen, I know that the guys that played this game before us did a lot for us that are now playing this. So to be talked about with those guys, is means a lot to me. And I love this game, but the reality is the guys that came before us, laid a foundation for us to be playing in stadiums like this on national television and stuff. So I don't want that to come across the wrong way, but because it does mean a lot to me.
And did you think it was possible that you could set career highs in rushing yards and receptions still?
Look, I've always believed in myself, and it was one of those games where, Clint and the way the coverage was working out, just created opportunities for me. And I know Riz talked about it, but I thought Derek played a really efficient game, and the ball was going where it needed to go, and it was coming out on time. And we're really hard to defend when we're doing that. And man, he made a lot of really pivotal plays, third down, third and long, and he's making plays to move the chains, and that's a big deal.
Taysom Derek was joking during the week that he fed you a dinner about the opening touchdown in the last game. So are you gonna? Did you win the bet this week?
No, I didn't win a bet. He kind of always has this standing thing, like if you take a screen for a touchdown or something, he'll give you something, give you dinner, whatever. But mine got called back, so I couldn't accept it. So. Yeah. That's usually what he does. It's usually what he does. But I haven't been able to collect on one of those yet. Maybe in a couple weeks.
How frustrated were you after the fumble?
Yeah, look, I'm disappointed, and I was really disappointed at halftime, and no one is going to be harder about all these things than I am. I certainly expect more of myself in those situations, but look, they made a couple good plays, and so got a lot of great teammates, a lot of great friends in there that I had conversations with, and look, I played this game long enough. I know that those guys on the other side get paid too, and look, it was one of those things where I had to take a step back and say there's nothing that I can do about it now, right? So let's go do what I can to help us win this game, and fortunately I continue to get some opportunities.
Darren said at halftime that he told you he was gonna keep feeding you the ball. I'm guessing that kind of meant something to you when you weren't feeling great, right?
Yeah. Look, I had a number of conversations. Look, I think you play in this league long enough, you're gonna have moments like that. So certainly, I've had plays that didn't go my way prior to this game too. But look, I had conversations with Clint, Riz, everyone, and it's always the same message. And look, it's the same message that I echo to teammates too when something doesn't go our way. So look, I'm aware of all that and grateful that they obviously continue to give me opportunities.
They obviously did a number of creative things with you, but they also had the 4th and 1, and then that last drive toward the end where it looked like you were just going to play quarterback for all 4 plays. If needed, it only ended up being 2. But how much do you like that? I mean, we're not hiding what we're doing, And
yeah.
It's power versus power, I guess, and that's a specialty of yours.
Yeah, look, I think we gained some numbers that way, and that's obviously never been a secret, and we've done these things in the past, and it's been successful. So certainly in a 4-minute situation, it's one of those things that's been advantageous for us. And Clint called a great game, and he created a lot of unique opportunities for me to make plays. And I think as you start to look at what we're doing offensively, the more things we do that way, the harder it is for us to be defended. And so I think, you know, when you're running the ball well and, you know, your head, creates more opportunities that way. But, you know, hopefully something that we can continue to build on.
Can you take us just the second touchdown, the fourth down? Can you take us to that play?
Let's see. Yeah. Look, it was one of those. Obviously, it was fourth and short. Was it fourth and short, or was it third down? Was it fourth and short? Wow. Yeah. They came out of center field. You know, I knew it was an aggressive run, stop, look, and I've seen this before, right? But when they set out to stop the run, there's no one back there. So if you get past that first level of defense, you know, you're kind of home free. So, man, they did a great job. It was one of these plays where we had a number of double teams up front, and those guys created a big hole, big lane for me, and got me out in space, and you know, the rest is what it was.
You've known Rizzy a long time.
Yeah.
What is it about him that players seem to respond to so well?
You know, I think Riz has done a really nice job of, you know, communicating with a lot of guys in the locker room. You know, so we've had a lot of meetings with him. We've had private meetings, you know, whatever, and I think he has a really good pulse on what we need collectively as a team, you know, to get ready for a football game, you know, and I think guys have responded to that, and you know, really respected, and you know, his ability to come in and have conversation, but then take feedback and make some changes, and you know, as I mentioned, guys have responded really positively.
Jason, just in terms of like usage, the amount of time touching the ball on the field, is this kind of what you were anticipating coming into the season, type of game? Not the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of what I'd hoped for, you know, and so as you look at training camp, the first half of the season was you know, I was really disappointed the way it went just because of my injuries, you know, and so I think it's trying to find this balance of, you know, what is that going to look like now, and you know, are you being exposed too much to injury and stuff, and we all know this too, right? It's every game's a little bit different, you know, so I felt like there were opportunities to continue to do things like this. You know, someone showed me some stat sheets. You know, it's kind of one of those things that you don't expect to have a career high on a number of things in one game. But I certainly felt like there was opportunities to have touches like this.
How frustrating was that, if that was the expectation going into the year, just knowing that you have to find this balance with the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, now it's a hard thing when you want to be out there with your team, you know, and you go through OTAs, you go through training camp, and man, we had a tough training camp, you know, and you're out there grinding with all your buddies, and then you get to the season and we're all excited, and you have to stay on the sideline. You know, that's a hard thing to balance, you know, mentally, emotionally, and so forth. So I understand trying to find a balance of making sure that you're available and all of that, but, you know, we also need to make sure we're doing everything we can to win football games. And so I don't know what that's going to continue to look like, but, you know, I'm certainly enjoying the more opportunities I get, you know.
What did you think of Derek's scoring on his jet motion there?
Yeah, it was great. You know, I mentioned that. Look, that was one of the things I talked about to the team. When you start to, you know, when you rush the ball for as many yards as we did, these things are just a collective effort, right? You can't do this by yourself. And, you know, Derek is one of those guys that has always been incredibly supportive, you know, and like the dude just wants to win, you know, so whatever it takes. And, you know, we've had some giggles about some of his jet sweep motions, and hey, I'm always available, you know, and stuff like that. So he's been great.
Coach Rizzi said it feels like the team's getting its swag back. I mean, can you feel that?
For sure.
Where's the team at right now?
Yeah. Look, I think it's like as you watched that game, I think you saw a team that just continued to get more and more confident, and that was something, it's no secret. We've struggled finishing games, and I felt as I think back, throughout the course of that game, we just started playing with more and more confidence, and the expectation is we continue to build on that.
Jason, I don't want to do message or whatever, but heard it the last couple of weeks is the importance placed on finishing.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks in a row, you guys found a way to finish and close out games. Is there anything to the message in that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I certainly don't think anything's going to change if you don't talk about it, and that's something that we've struggled with this year. So at some point you have to look in the mirror and say, hey, we need to be better, and what do we need to be better at, because at the end of the day, yeah, it matters what you do in the first half, but we've been around this league long enough that knows that these games are won and lost in the second half, third and fourth quarter, and we need to do a better job. And I felt like we got into that game, we just knew that, man, we were going to do what was necessary to win that one.
Hey, Taysom, you talked about the previous players in time sort of paving the way for what you guys are doing now. How important is it, or how does it feel knowing that now, at this moment, you're doing that for future players?
Yeah, I think that's important. I'm a father of 2 little boys, and I look at what's the growth of our league through my last 8 years here, and that means a lot to me as well, to be able to continue to add to something that certainly a lot bigger than myself. And football has been my life. As I look back to my time in little league and now college, and now I get to play football and take care of my family while I do this, so this stuff, it's been my life, and so to be able to add to that means a lot to me.
How much longer do you think you can keep doing this?
I don't know. One game at a time, we'll see. All good. Thanks, guys.